City of Sebastian Planning and Zoning Commission, Thursday, October 17th, 2019. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Turn your mic on.
It's on.
Oh, it is? Okay. Mr. Simmons,
Present.
Ms. Cottenberg,
Here.
Mr. Carter,
Present.
Mr. Motti,
Here.
Mr. Kizilbosh,
Here.
Mr. Alvarez.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, this evening, Mr. Roth, Mr. Reyes, and Mr. Hugan have excused absences. Mr. Simmons and Mr. Motti will be voting in their places. You've had the opportunity to read the minutes from our last meeting.
Yes.
Colleen? Okay, any additions or corrections?
No,
Okay, call for motion.
Chairman, I make a motion that we accept and approve the minutes of our regular meeting of October 3rd, 2019.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We have a quasi-judicial hearing this evening. I hereby open the hearing.
Yes, ma'am. Item 6A is quasi-judicial. It's a conditional use permit application for a new model home at 1592 and 1598 Barber Street, which is lots 16 and 17, block 298, Sebastian Highlands, Unit 11. The applicant is Adams Homes. Because it's quasi-judicial, all testimony needs to be under oath, so if anyone who wishes to speak on this item would stand and raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Okay. Have any of the commission members had any ex parte communication with the applicant?
No.
Okay. The applicant or the applicant's agent, please make your presentation. Yes. And if you'll give your name, please. Thank you.
On Barber Street, and we're a home builder. We build single residential homes, and the model's under construction. We have gone through the building department, and we're pouring the driveway on the model right now, and it will be done in about probably 2 months, maybe a little bit longer, depending on the weather. Right next to it, we have joined the two lots together and through the state. So we're going to build a parking lot right next door to it for parking, and then have a sidewalk that comes from the parking. We'll have the handicap parking over there, and then we'll have a sidewalk that goes from that over to the house, the model. It has a 16-foot driveway that comes off of Barber Street also for additional parking. The model will be open typically from 10 o'clock till 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday through Sunday, and it will be open to the public for people to come in and look at our product and decide whether they want to buy an Adams Homes or not. And that will really be all that it's used for.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Staff presentation, please.
Thank you, Commission.
My first name is Steve, Steve. My last name is Nickel, Nickle.
Thank you, Commission. Model homes are a conditional use in the RS10 zoning district. And so there is some, in Article 6, there are some specific criteria that you have to show that this request meets, and then there is specific criteria for the model homes, which are listed in your staff report. This is a request. There's on 2 lots. They have, usually our model home process begins where they submit the building permit to the building department to get that permit issued. This is a single-family house, and then they would like to open it up to the public to, as a model home. Not necessarily it is different from a spec house. It requires parking, and based on their, the site plan that they did submit, they are providing the 5 parking spaces that is required as the specific criteria from the conditional use. We are requesting that they do, as required in our code, some additional landscaping hedge on the east parking spaces that wasn't shown on the site plan. They are showing a connecting sidewalk. When Mr. Nickel comes up, we would like him to state for the record, we did forget to ask him to state that when the model home ceases to exist, that they will remove that connecting sidewalk, that Adams Homes will be responsible for that. We have indicated signage. The code allows 1 sign for a model home. They'll be able to put up a couple of flags, patriotic flags, but none of the open banners or anything like that. It's been kind of an issue with some of our model homes on the weekends. We're requesting it in writing that they're aware that what is allowed, the 1 sign and not the feather flags. We do have a permit already for the proposed model home sign. It did not have the monument base, but that is a separate permit, and we're going through that review. Once the model home, if approved by you tonight, we'll be able to issue that permit when we get the rest of what we need for that. Staff is recommending approval. We feel that it meets the conditional use criteria as noted on page 2, and the specific conditional use criteria based on the information that they gave us in their application, which you have a copy. We are recommending approval of these conditional permit with the conditions listed on page 3, the additional hedging, no construction materials or equipment will be stored in the parking lot, the building permit for the model home sign is obtained, illegal flags and signage should not be used, and that the contractor will remove the parking area and model signage when the permit expires. And I apologize, there was one other thing I wanted, on the lot that has the parking area. They are going to just clear that front part of it. There's a large pine tree and some oak trees in the rear that they will keep on that property, but they are aware that they will have to meet the tree requirement to get the CO for the house of the 15 trees for a double lot. And based on what's there and what they have proposed to put on the model home site, they will meet that requirement.
Thank you. Questions from our commissioners?
Only question or concern I think I'd like to address is the situation with the with the signage, especially on the weekend, which, you know, as I understand it, Adams has had trouble with that on Easy Street. Is there a way that we can enforce them to adhere to this?
And maybe Mr. Nichols can come up also and speak on it. I'm going to guess, though, that their model home on Easy Street was not visible from a main arterial. There is an officer on Saturdays. We will try to be a little bit more diligent. We have noted that the model homes are putting up the A-frame signs because they see the businesses do those. The A-frame signs are not allowed in the residential section. So we have that also on the list that we do need to address that with our other model homes to bring them all into compliant and be fair for all of them. But it is something that we want to begin to address.
Well, the code doesn't make exceptions as far as for what is visible and what's not visible.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Right.
Yes, as part of the record, you're right. So yes, we will address this through code enforcement.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, only one question for the parking area. They will require a separate permit for that, right?
Yes, they did. There was a separate permit, and there was a separate driveway and drainage permit that was approved by our engineering department.
For the parking area?
Yes.
That's it.
Did that property already get a clearance for the wildlife turtles and stuff?
Yes, each of the lots did come in with separate land clearing permits, which our environmental planner did walk and review for tortoises. and I don't believe there was any on there, but if there was, they have been addressed, those permits had been issued. And then after that, they did submit, they were required to bring in a unity of title, because we couldn't just have a parking lot on a vacant lot and the model home. So they have done a unity title, but there were two separate land clearing permits, and both of them were approved by our planner, environmental, that did the inspection.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing with the other model? Because there's another model home on Easy Street. Is that gonna continue there, or you're gonna have two model homes, or?
And that may be a question Mr. Nichol can
Mr.
come back with.
Nichols? Because I do know, there's you have another model on Easy Street. Is that gonna stay there, or is that?
No, we're going to discontinue the use as a model on that and sell it as a home, as a residential home.
Okay, then you're gonna go over to Barber Street.
Yeah, as soon as the Barber Streets gets done, we're gonna discontinue any kind of model activity, and we're gonna put it on the market and sell it.
Okay, all right. All right, no, that's it. Thank you.
I have no questions.
No questions? Okay. I too have the concern about the terminology continuing to use illegal signage on the weekends. That troubles me in the fact that if you know the rules and you've been reminded of the rules and you continue to break the rule, that concerns me. And I guess my question is, has this been referred to a magistrate? Or are we just verbally giving repeated warnings?
I don't know offhand without, through code enforcement, I can request tomorrow, we definitely will put it in writing and request them to, on the weekends, monitor the signage that the model homes are using. And I can also, so we can report at the next meeting, though, I will let them know, find out how many times they have been to the model homes, if it has been addressed. They would have had to issue a formal notice of violation. If it hasn't been corrected, then they can be given notice to go appear before the special magistrate. And I know that that has not happened, but we will check and see how many times they have stopped at the model homes to either give them a warning or let them know of the violation.
Thank you for that. My only concern is that if we have an ordinance, we need to enforce it, and we need to enforce it equally. And that concerns me. And if there is a problem, then we need to address the problem, but that's my only concern.
But that's why, one of the reasons we did make it as a formal condition of approval
Yes,
too.
yeah,
So
that's-
it is one of
I'm
your
glad-
conditions, and if there is violation, we can also come back and say that you have violated a condition of your model home permit, which allows, the permit could be revoked.
Sir, as the project manager, is that your responsibility to make sure that the signage is taken care of?
I receive all of the code violations from Sebastian. They're all, they have my phone number, they call me, and they either send them over to me. Now, I'm not gonna swear on a Bible that there was a code violation for that model home for the, using the flags, but I am unaware of any that were done. So it may be something that they were just verbally telling us and it wasn't getting to me. If they had violated us on a code violation, I would have ceased it. I didn't know until I read the report that it had been a repeated problem. And I addressed it with the other managers, the sales managers, and they told me that they're aware of it. They know that they're not supposed to do it, and they're also aware that they're only allowed to put an American flag and a Florida state flag, the state of Florida, the official flag for state of Florida is the only flags that we're going to put out at the model. That's it. We're not doing it anymore now that we're aware of it. And I never received any code violations that came across our desk that I was made aware of. Now, I'm not saying that it didn't happen and maybe our sales manager received them, but I haven't heard anything about it until this meeting came up.
All right, as a recommendation and coming from the construction industry, as the project manager, it might be advisable to check these projects, keep your people in check so that this doesn't happen? So it's not brought to your attention at this late date?
Absolutely. Knowing it, it's not going to happen. I can tell you that.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, good. Thank you for addressing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll be consistent with all of the model homes that have active permits. I know, like I said, they're bringing, the other ones are also placing out A-frame signs. I think there is another one on Barber Street that has flown a company flag on their flagpole, the American flag. So we will have our email tomorrow to the code enforcement. We'll have them do to address all of the sites. So we have 4 model home sites, and we'll make sure they're all in compliance.
And
I'm
could,
glad you're addressing that because, not to pick Adams out.
Correct.
But everyone needs to adhere to the code.
Yes.
and could we let code enforcement know that if there is a complaint and a violation, we want that in writing?
Okay, yes,
Okay,
I'll ask them to send it.
that way we have a record.
yes.
Thank you. Okay. We'll open the floor for anyone here who wishes to speak opposing the request. If there is anyone, please come forward. Anyone of the public who wishes to speak in favor of the proposal? Okay. Seeing no one? I think we've already taken care of the applicant responding to any issues raised. Thank you very much. Do we need a summarization from our staff?
Staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit for the model home at 1598 Barber Street with the 5 conditions noted on page 3 of the staff report.
Thank you. Any additional questions?
I have one. Is this gonna be the actual sign, or no, you guys gonna do some, cause,
So the, size-wise, it does meet code. They're missing the monument base. And so that was our
okay, yeah,
comment
cause
on
I
the.
saw the one on Easy, and the one on D.R. Horton, they have, it's not like this, it's not like monumental.
They have a very minimal base on that
Right,
sign, but
okay.
the size, the 6 square feet does
Okay,
meet code.
there's
They just
something
look at
that
the-
you don't wanna be huge, it look like,
Correct.
all right, that's it, thank you.
No other? Call for a motion, please.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the conditional use permit for the new model home at 1592 and 1598 Barber Street, lots 16 and 17, block 298, Sebastian Highlands, Unit 11, for Adams Home, with the 5 conditions that staff recommends.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Could we take a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Kizzelbosh,
Yes.
Ms. Cottenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Simmons,
Yes.
Mr. Mott,
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez,
Yes,
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excuse me, can I ask who made the second?
Mr. Kizabal.
Thank you.
Okay. That hearing is then closed. Unfinished business, we have none. Any input from the public? Seeing none, we will move to commissioners' matters. Mr. Carter, none?
None for me tonight.
No? Mr. Morris?
Not tonight.
We're good.
Good, okay. I have
Easy
none as
breezy,
well.
man. Easy breezy.
Staff matters? Attorney matters?
The only thing I wanted to let the commission know, some of you may know already, but I've tendered my resignation with the city. My workload has gotten to the point that I am just not enough hours in the week, and so I let the city council know that I was going to be stepping back, and they are currently undergoing a search for a new city attorney. So I'll be here until they find somebody. So I'm sure I'll see you again, but just wanted to let you know. If you know anyone, any attorneys looking for a job, let them know. It's a great place to work. I'm gonna miss.
Well, we appreciate your work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
thank you for telling us
Good
that
luck in your next
it's
chapter.
your workload and not us.
I'd also like to welcome Dory back. This is
Yes.
first meeting she's been back that we've had.
Missed, yes. It's good to be back. Mr. Simmons is back too. Thank you.
Is Michelle's your new assistant, or?
Michelle is in training.
Okay, there you go.
Welcome back, you were sorely missed.
Thank you.
That covers our agenda for this evening. This meeting is adjourned.
All right.